Today, the war with Iran at least briefly became a hot war again because it's unclear who fired the first shot or whether this means the ceasefire is over. U.S. Central Command says that Iranian forces launched missiles, drones, and small boats at 3 U.S. Navy destroyers. The U.S. says that those attacks were unprovoked. The U.S. says that in response to those attacks, U.S. forces eliminated inbound threats and targeted drone and missile launch sites. The U.S. says that those attacks do not constitute a resumption of war and that the U.S. does not seek escalation. Now, Iran is telling a different story. A spokesperson for the Iranian military told Iranian state media that the U.S. started today's fighting by launching unprovoked attacks against ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The spokesperson said that the U.S. airstrikes along the coast hit civilian areas, and maybe, most importantly, Iran accused the U.S. of violating the war's ceasefire. Tonight, in a phone call with ABC News, President Trump called today's strikes, quote, just a love tap, insisting that the ceasefire was still in effect. And in a social media post moments after that call, Trump warned that if Iran does not get a deal signed fast, the U.S. will, quote, knock them out a lot harder and more violently than we saw today. So where do things stand? Is this war close to over, close to restarting in full force? It's really hard to say. This all comes on a day where we woke up to news that pokes a big, huge hole in the Trump administration's assertion that Iran is close to caving. Because today, the Washington Post reported on a confidential CIA analysis that estimates that Iran can outlast Trump's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz for months. Well, Trump has been insisting that Iran's economy is crashing. The CIA estimate says that Iran can survive the U.S. blockade for 90 to 120 days, or maybe even longer, before facing severe economic hardship. Joining me now is former CIA Director John Brennan. Director Brennan, thank you, as always, for being here. Let me start by just getting your reaction to the trading of strikes between the U.S. and Iran today. What do you think that means? What do you see as the status of the ceasefire, I guess, at this moment?
Well, I think the forces, U.S. naval forces, as well as the Iranians, are watching each other very carefully. And I do believe CENTCOM's portrayal of what happened, which was the Iranians probably fired on U.S. naval vessels that were either in an area of the strait that the Iranians might have viewed as provocative or near the Iranian coast. And the Iranians fired first, and then the U.S. Navy responded in kind to eliminate those targets and probably strike some other facilities or launchers that they viewed as threatening. So I don't think this is leading to a quick escalation at all. I don't think either side wants that. But it's unsurprising that some of these incidents take place because we have a large number of U.S. naval vessels in the region, and the Iranians along the coast there, I think, are primed and ready to react if they feel as though there's maybe a U.S. naval vessel that might be getting a little bit too close to the shore.
I wanted to ask you about this Washington Post reporting. I mean, because one of the things that struck me most about it, well, a lot of things, but one was that there were a number of sources. I mean, 4 sources, 4 people, presumably all within the administration, maybe people with knowledge of it, because this document was given to administration policymakers, basically leaking a confidential CIA analysis that debunks Trump's rhetoric around the war. I mean, to me, that feels like a sign that even people inside the Trump administration are concerned about the rhetoric that's out there or what's being said or stated about the realities on the ground. But I wonder what you make of it.
Well, I certainly think the CIA assessment is on the mark in terms of the Iranians' ability to continue to resist the economic hardship enforced by the blockade. But I agree with you. I think the motivation behind the leaker or leakers is that there are individuals who really are concerned that this war is continuing to be problematic for U.S. national security interests. And they want to make sure that there is, in fact, an airing of the CIA assessment, intelligence community's view, that more pounding of Iran is not going to bring them to their knees. If anything, I think it has emboldened the Iranian regime to stand fast and probably has won them some support within Iran because of their what's seen as foreign attacks against Iranians that have killed a large number of Iranian citizens.
It's really not the only. There's been a series of really excellent reporting that has kind of contradicted what the Trump administration is saying publicly. I mean, earlier this week, Reuters reported that U.S. intelligence assessments believe that this war has not impacted the timeline for how long it would take Iran to build a nuclear weapon at all. And Trump, Hegseth, and Rubio have of course, justified this war by saying pretty much the exact opposite of that, by saying that this war was necessary and successful because it has set back Iran's nuclear program. What do you make of the giant gap there between what Trump is saying and what the intelligence community reportedly believes here?
Well, again, it's unsurprising. Donald Trump will always spin things that are, positive light that shines upon the administration. Well, and in fact, some of that reporting that came out from the Washington Post about the assessments indicated that there's a large number of missile launchers and missiles that the Iranians retain in their inventory, which is inconsistent with what the administration has said in terms of the decimation of Iranian military capabilities. So again, I think, the Trump administration's portrayal of just how hard the Iranians have been hit really does not really capture how resilient the Iranians have been and the capabilities they still have. So, the dishonesty that's coming out of this administration, again, is consistent with, I think, what we've seen from them for the past year and a half.